What is up, guys? True Parashad here, also known as John, here once again with another video. Today's video is going to be another Dragon Ball deck profile, I guess. Seems though OCE or Australia, whatever you want to call it, or it's more, I guess it's OCE, had the final Dragon Ball event for Australia being Nationals. Technically, it's the biggest event, even though it didn't have the biggest turnout. But yeah, as always, I participated. Woo! And this is my deck, because it's a fun game, and I play. So yeah, for those of you that don't know, I came third in this event over the weekend. It was held in Sydney. Had a ton of fun. This is the deck I ran, which you can see on the screen. Doing this deck profile a bit differently from last one as well, because this is just way more convenient to do, and the quality is also a lot nicer. Even though you're just gonna be looking at this still image for hopefully 15 minutes max, hopefully. But yeah. So I'll just go over I'm not gonna lie. Thirds. I had a ton of fun at the event. Kind of sucks that I didn't make it to the finals. I lost in semis, then won the third place game. That does suck. I'm not saying I'm disappointed that I got third, but it is quite. I guess I am a little disappointed that I didn't make it to the finals and didn't take the whole thing, because I genuinely thought I could win, but that's just me being petty, not happy with doing well. So that's whatever. But the top three for OCE at this event actually get invited to the big nationals in America, which is invite only. So I have been invited to that. Not entirely sure if I'm going to go, because fun fact, flights to America are pretty expensive, and the American dollar is also really strong compared to the Australian dollar. So that's a rip on the bank account. Let's just shave a few numbers off. So that's a big feels bad. So that's why I'm still thinking about whether I wanted to go. But anyway, enough of me rambling about the event. Let's talk about what you guys are actually here for. And most of you have already left because you see the deck profile. But the deck profile. So I ran a blue-red pan list, obviously practically red, only like 11 blue cards, so mainly red. The meta changed a lot when SS3 got banned, since it was the best leader in the game and it opened up a lot of other leaders to be playable. This was one of the leaders that came up recently. I was actually planning to play a different deck, the Stopping Power Goku from World Martial Arts Tournament, but then I saw this like 2 days before the event, and I tested as like, oh, wait a second, this is that good stuff. Why would I want to play some trash deck when I can play this broken deck? And that's what I did. I played this broken deck and made a few tweaks to it. There were a lot of good lists. So in the American event, that was like, I think it was 2 weeks ago now. But like the top 32 had like 6 pans, and 2 of those pans are in top 8. And one of them, the pan deck, actually came third, like me. So we have similarities. But I did make some changes, and the main changes being I don't main board Topo. Topo's in the side. I think free block is just better. So I'll go over the cards from just in the order. So obviously pan leader, 10k both sides. It's an untapped 2 leader. Whenever you play battle card, if it hits 20k, it gains 5k power, and if it then has 20k power, you draw a card. Really good. Lets you just do things. Lets you just cycle through your deck, see what you need to see, and just keep up in card advantage so you can pressure your opponent. The awakened sides are the same, but obviously when you swing, you draw a card. First battle card we have is the Intensive Firepower in Trunks. It's the only awakening I run in the deck. It's really only the awakening you need. One drop 15k critical. Pretty damn good. Also lets you play your chain attack a lot easier. Kind of have to run 4, I think, in any deck that has chain attack. You need to run 4 of this and 4 a chain attack. Just yeah, kind of mandatory if you want your deck to be consistent, I guess. Dependable Robot Guru. The free blocker for Pan. Pan gets one of those, which is really good. A lot of the lists I saw actually sideboarded this card in the American list. I think this card's really good because free blockers are just free. Like, if you can play something for free, it helps you cycle. Like, a lot of plays I'd play my burst attack Gohan, give it 5k and draw a card, and I'd be stuck at 5 cards in hand. And then I'd play my Guru for free because I'd have that in hand, and then I can use my burst attacks on Gohan's effect to draw 2 new cards. So it just helps you with stuff like that. And it's also really good against aggro decks too. That's why we have the other 2 in the side. So that's pretty good. Good job, my free blocker. Good stuff. Then we have your super combos. Overrated card. I think this is horrible. I think you should take this out of your deck. It's honestly one of the worst cards ever designed. Like, I don't even... it's just such a bad card. It's 0 combo power, and it does nothing. It's a vanilla card, 0 combo power. 2 red, it's a useless card. So I'm not even going to bother going into any detail about that. Next we have Bodyguard Legic. This card's awesome. This card, a lot of the things about Pan is that it makes up for not really doing anything for the first couple turns by the amount of free cards you get to play, mainly being your Vegetas, your Bodyguard Legics, and your Gyros in this build. Um, so what this does is that if your opponent has battle cards and you don't, you get to play this for free, and it's also a block of 15k. So when you play this, you get to draw a card of your Pan skill. Um, it's honestly really good going second because I'll just use the mirror as an example. So in the mirror, your opponent will play will leave an energy open just in case you decide to swing with the Trunks, so they can use a negate or combo with Vegeta. What you can do, you can swing with your Pan leader, and your opponent be like, "Lol, my opponent's trolling. I'm gonna take. Oh, he's letting me play my Vegeta for free. Oh, spicy." You'll be like, "No combos, dude." And they're like, "Here's my free Vegeta plus 5k and draw a card." And then you're like, "I read you like a book. I play a Bodyguard Legic for free now. You have a battle card in play." And then you kill them, and they're like, "Shit, they just got outplayed." And you're like, "Yes, I'm the better player." That's how the interaction goes. Like, if it doesn't happen, like, in that exact way and same conversation, there's something wrong. But it's a good card. It is a very good card. Next, we have Burst Attack Son Gohan. This card's pretty broken. Lets you draw 2 cards if you're at 4 or less. 3 drop 15k critical. It's pretty broken. It's simple enough. It's very, very broken. Very good card. Only on 3 because this trust me, it's extra on the sideboard. It's great, but there's a lot of other 3 drops and other cards you want to see as well. So but it is really broken. I think if you don't run 3 in your red deck, even 2's alright depending on what your deck is. But I feel like that if you're playing red, you should really have this card. There's really no downside to it. Next we have the Vegetas. This is one of the cards that makes Pen really good because it lets you defend yourself and draw a card. It essentially turns this card into a second super combo, and you also get a 15k body on board during your opponent's turn. Pretty nuts. Very nuts. It's very good. Good card, and it's Vegeta, and Vegeta's a great card. Next we have Fearless Pan. Only running 2 of these. There's another one-of card you can see in the deck, which is the MVP card. That's the reason we don't run Pan. 3 Pan, sorry, but Fearless Pen, what it does is that it's a 3-drop. When you play it, it gives all your red battle cards, excluding yourself, plus 5k in double strike. It's really good for closing out games. I'm pretty happy that I only ran 2 because foreseeing hit is I feel like a lot stronger than this because majority of the time you only need the 1 double strike attack sometimes, but obviously in other situations it's nice having a shit ton of double strike attacks. And Pan also doubles up as like if you don't kill your opponent that turn, she's a blocker with barrier, so she's not going to go anywhere. But yeah, just steroids everything you have, and it's very unlikely you don't win the game in the situation you play. Oh, that's not entirely true. It helps you push the game a lot easier, but it's really good. It helps you because this deck gets a lot of cards out in play and just lets you just pump them, and then you just kill your opponent. It's like yes. Next card we have probably legit. If this card wasn't a thing, no one would be playing Pan because this card's actually broken. This card is so good. It's Glorious Destruction Prince. No, it's Glory Obsessed Prince of Destruction Vegeta. By far the best championship pack card. The best looking card in the deck. This card's amazing. If you guys don't know, I'm a Vegeta fanboy, obviously. Best character, but he's a sick character. But what this card does is that if your lead is red, you can attack active mode cards. So your lead is red, it's Pan. And then auto, once per turn, when this card attacks a battle card, switch this card back to active mode and give it 10k power. So you swing 25k into any battle card as a 3-drop. And it's 20k when you play it with Pan. It's actually stupid. It lets you board clear anything early on in the game. And it's a dual attacker. And it's honestly, if this card wasn't a thing, no one would be playing Pan. Because this card makes Pan so good. If this card wasn't a thing, people would be playing the blue-red Hirudegarn version or the blue-red Trunks version. But this card throws Pan in there because the other two, obviously, you give up your untapping power from blue with the unyieldings to have this broken card that lets you just board wipe for free. It's really powerful. And up there for the MVP in the deck. It's just really good. If you keep get 2 of these and play, your opponent just essentially can't play battle cards. It's insane. Next we have the actual MVP card, Super Saiyan 3 Son Goku. What's there not to? Oh, my monitor's turned off because I have sleep enabled on my computer. But anyway, back to the goods. The Super Saiyan 3 Son Goku. This card is that good stuff. You play it, all your cards gain 5k, including himself, a positive overpan instantly. Not only that, Super Saiyan 3, still in the meta after getting banned, sneaking his way into the pan deck. Another bonus. End of the turn, he flutes himself back to hand. You heard it here first. This card, Red Flute. Red Flute. I'm just saying, it's pretty, and we all know how good Flute is. It goes back to hand, game +1 at the end of turn. I'm just saying. But in all seriousness, I have the one of in main board because like, I didn't. I okay. This card's pretty troll. This card's not very good because what happens when you play this card? It essentially just gives you another turn. You play this card, you end your turn. And if you have a lot of battle cards in play, your opponent just loses a lot of hand value, and this goes back to your hand, and you're like, cool. And then the following turn, you just charge his energy because it's only good. You only want to play it once per game, and most of the time, you've usually got better stuff to play. Almost every time I sideboarded this card out, because it's. I think I only played it 3 or 4 times in the whole event. The rest of the time, I just sided out. But it's a cool looking card. But yeah, on a serious-ish note, it's pretty nice playing this and swinging for 25k, and then just bouncing it back to hand to have the 5k combo power. That genuinely is pretty nice, but obviously not the main card of the deck. This is very niche. You really do not need this card. It also kind of clunked up my sideboard, because if this wasn't in there, I probably would have had another Fearless Pan, which is the one in the sideboard. So free sideboard slot for, I don't know, actually what I would have put in that free sideboard slot, but that's besides the point. Moving along, we've got Chain Attack Trunks. This card's broken. This card's stupid. Lets you play any 15k card when you play it from your hand, which is like, Chain Zeno. It's silly. I think the card, if it was like, it should really be I know why Bandai doesn't want to errata it, because it's a starter deck card. That's honestly, in my opinion, the only reason why they haven't errated it yet, because people would buy this and be like, oh, I'm learning the game. Oh, what does my card do? Oh, it lets me play anything. Oh, never mind, it doesn't. It's got a different ruling. So, this card should either say play any red card 15k or less, which I still think is pretty broken, because it gives you access to your Glory Obsessed Vegeta, your Gohan, stuff like that. But what it should say is like, play any GT card, like card that says GT, and it was intended for playing the Goku EX Evolve stuff into SS4 and that. That's what it should really say. But yeah, anyway, enough rambling about what they should do to the card. What the card does: 2 cost evolve onto the 1-drop Trunks. Broken means you can play it as early as turn 2 if you manage to keep one alive. Can attack active mode cards. This doesn't really matter too much because you have Vegeta for attacking active mode cards, but of course it's always nice. And then obviously I just went over the order now. But yeah, pretty good card, not gonna lie. Pretty solid. Next we have Foreseen Hit. I actually really wish I ran 4 of these. The game is, you get to a lot of energy, surprisingly. If you're not versing Storm, the game's going for pretty long. You usually get to, I've had games where I've killed my opponents on like 4 or 5, but majority of the time I ended my games on like when I hit 6 or 7 energy. Now, some games are going to 8 or 9 energy, surprisingly. I don't know how that happens. I guess we don't know how to play, but how to play fast. We'll just slow playing, but I think only one game went that far. But yeah, when you play Hit, you look at your opponent's hand, you warp 2 of the battle cards, 35k or less. That actually came up because one of the decks there that was played, what did the guy have? He was playing Hercule with the Secret Road to Migro, which is actually like 3000 IQ. That's actually like insane. That was like the coolest thing I've heard of all time. That's like big brain. But yeah. But anyway, Foreseen Hit, good card. It lets you. It's essentially your game ender in the deck. Like nothing else that you play. Pan doesn't really end games because you can still lose to like when you play Pan, you can still like die. You still don't end the game if your opponent just beans or flying nimbuses. So it's not really a game ender, but when you play Hit, you look into your opponent's hand, it's like, cool, you're not using these 2 cards, thank you very much. And then Pan makes him a 25k double strike, and you just draw a card. And you're like, cool, you have no cards in your hand, 25k double strike into you later. Cool, you got to take it, fantastic. That's how that goes. We really wish I had the 4th copy. Probably would have taken SS3 out for the 4th copy, which is, not a bad idea, but that's okay. But yeah, it's pretty funny actually, because some points in the game, because like I was saying before, the game's a lot slower. If I had games where I was on one of the games I played versus Storm deck, I somehow to survive late enough into the game. I got my Chain Zeno off, hit turn 5, played a hit, untapped, took 2 super combos out of his hand, awakened, swung my leader, Senzu Bean, played a second hit, took the another super combo out of his head, and I was like, yes, I'm winning. I played 2 hits in the 1 turn. Your opponent loses 4. And then I had someone play 2 hits against me, and that, I'll tell you what, not very fun interaction. Not good game design when it's played against you, but when you're playing it, great card. Played against you, bad decision. Unlucky is what that one is. But yeah, sorry, it's just too good. Just game and to hit is what it should be, dude. He's foreseeing the opponent's end. Moving right along, Zeno. You only run Zeno. Blue energy source is the first reason, so you can play your beans and whisk coercions, and also to hit off chain attack. It's silly. This is why chain Zeno should be changed. It's pretty good combo. It helps you be aggro and then not get punished for it. It's a kind of a silly combo, but I'm going to exploit the crap out of it, obviously. As a good player I am, I've determined this combo pretty good. What I'm going to do, I'm going to play the pretty good combo, and then lo and behold, the combo worked out pretty well. Yeah, very nice. Those of you who don't know what Zeno does, yeah, you've been under a rock, so we don't have to go over what Zeno does. We're going to move right along. Supreme... Okay. Jesus. All right, so now my overrun cards. I've got 2 Supreme Kai of Times, Lights Guide, and then 2 Time Patrol Trunks. I'm going to tell you completely honestly right now, the reason why this happened is because I only own 2 Supreme Kai Lights Guide. I only own 2 of those cards, so that's why it's a 2-2 split. But I actually kind of really like the split anyway. I think even if I had all the Supreme Kais, I would have probably like had the 1 Trunks in. Reason being is that you don't really need the Supreme Kai of Time every time, and Trunks lets you just filter your draw. So the difference is between the two, but they're both overrun 3. The Supreme Kai of Time lets you draw a card, then give you a leader plus 5k, whereas the Trunks lets you look at the top 2 cards of your deck, put one in your hand and put the other one at the top or the bottom of your deck, and that's what they do. Kai obviously is pretty good, giving you leader plus 5k, making more lethal, especially on the turns you drop pen. But Trunks is pretty good, filtering through your deck, grabbing what you need. And the cool thing about Trunks is that if you see 2 good cards, when you play the Trunks, you resolve the Trunks auto before your pan auto. Oh, cool, I've got 2 really good cards. I'll put one in my hand, put the other ones on my deck, and I'll use pan auto to draw the second one. So that's why Trunks is really good as well. Yeah, honestly, really happy with the split. I think it works really nicely in pan. I think the interaction with Trunks and pan is too good not to run. So I think most pan players should be running. I think a 2-2 split's really good. I think it's nice. Next, the other one of in the deck, Planet M2. This card's nuts. You don't want to run any more than 1 because you can't. You don't want to see it late game. But if you have it in your opening hand, you keep it in your after your mulligan. You keep it in your hand. You play it turn 1. This card lets you board clear all those tiny 1 drops that your opponent plays. And on top of that, you are a Chain Zono deck after all. And Chain Zono doesn't hit field cards such as Planet M2. So it's actually so hard. The most one-sided game, or more dominant games I've had, is even when my opponent Chain Zonos me. I'm sitting there with my Planet M2 being like, yeah, because I have just a card advantage, just automatically. And they try to recover, yeah, minus 5k, kill something. So it's nice, it's real good. I never wanted to see another one, because if I drew it late game, I just wanted the energy. I didn't want to invest in energy at that point in the game to do something. But when I saw it at the start of the game, so good. It's insane. It was the nuts. Next card on the list, Unyielding Awakening. Essentially Senzu Negate for red leaders. Red Sane leaders, my bad. Yeah, it's pretty good. It helped me survive against Storm. I kind of wish I had more in the sideboard. I would have definitely done my sideboard differently, because the deck that did knock me out of the deck that I lost to in the semifinals was a Storm deck. I do think if I had another one of these, I could have potentially survived, but yeah, negating attacking on plus 5k is really good. I've had with this and Senzu Bean, I've had my pan on like 30k defensively, and my opponent's like, okay, I guess I pass. It's like, cool, I'll do my turn, Chain Zeno, foreseen hit, unlucky dude. But yeah, moving along, Senzu Bean does essentially just like Unyielding Awakening, gives your card plus 5k for the duration of the turn. Difference being you can use Senzu Bean offensively. Didn't really use it too offensively. I think the times I did use it offensively, it was like just to end combos, increase my combo power, or also like untap enough to drop a second foreseen hit in the same turn, because that's silly. Playing 2 foreseen hits is probably the most broken thing you can do in the game. Like, if you're ignoring Chain Zeno for a second, playing 2 foreseen hits in the 1 turn, yeah, trust me, if you do it, you're going to think to yourself, damn, what a good combination of cards. Foreseen hit and foreseen hit. What a great combo. and then yeah, then you win the game. So that's what Senzibin does. Great defensive card, which is kind of like what the deck does. It just doesn't die, which is fun. It's good. I don't like losing, and not dying means you don't lose. So there you go. Last thing we're on, 3 Weeks Coercion, just the last blue card. Yeah, it's fine. Just didn't negate any attack. It's probably the best negate right now. Until set 5 comes out and it's just got power crept, so feels bad. Even though it's only for blue leaders, but it's pretty good honestly. Sometimes I would negate an attack with my Wasted Coercion, and I'd see in my hand I don't have any more beans or coercion, so I just untap a red energy, so to have my Unyielding Awakening live in hand, so that's always nice. So yeah, moving along. Well, that's it for the main board. Sideboard, 2 more Robot Gurus, really good for the Storm matchup. Literally, that was the main card I sided in. 2 Supreme Kais, time Double Strike Chomper. Didn't side this in at all, actually. A lot of the cards here, a lot of my one-ofs didn't side in at all. The only one-of I did side in was my hit, because I realized partway through the tournament, why am I not running 4 hits instead of having one SS3? I kind of realized that, so I started sideboarding a lot after game 1 if I felt like that. I couldn't beat my opponent with SS3. You know, it's SS3, dude. You gotta go further beyond, so to speak. But yeah, I didn't side in majority of these cards, honestly. Like Cronoa, I didn't versus any Shigesh, but you kind of have to pay the Cronoa tax. Marseille, I did side in against Storm. It's a good another 10k combo to help you survive things. It's kind of rough. You can't really. So I felt like it's good in theory. Like some games it did win me the matchup against Storm, just being able to warp the Goten's, stifle your opponent like that. But when I couldn't survive, it's like when I couldn't get to the point where I could play Marseille, I just lost anyway. So it's like it didn't really matter, I guess. Topo, yeah, it's a bit hard to say with Topo because Topo's a really good card, but the problem is that it costs 2 red energy to negate, and you have things like you want to use your Unyielding Awakening and your Vegetas on your opponent's turn to get those in play, and you got Prince of Destruction Vegeta anyway, which kind of does the same thing Topo does, which is mainly board clear, but it does it more effectively because it attacks active mode cards. So I did side in again into Storm, but yeah, honestly, the main things I were siding in were my 2 extra dependable Robot Gurus. Occasionally Marseille, not as often as people would think. I honestly barely started it in, because I was like, where's my Marseille? And it was not in my main board, so I was like, oh, that's fine, yeah. Then hit. Yeah, I should have run 4 hits. But yeah, that's about it for the deck profile. I did try to make it a bit short. It's not quite 15 minutes long, but yeah, I did the best I could for not draining your life for me talking about this deck. But that's about it. Again, does suck I didn't win with this event. Third's alright, I guess. Yes. But yeah, I think the big thing is that I did get invited to America. I'm still thinking whether or not I'm actually going to go. So I'll probably keep everyone updated with what I decide to do. It is, I think, like 6 or 7 weeks away. But something about that far away. But yeah, I'll have to let I'll keep everyone updated, and yeah. Anyway, guys, thank you for sticking around this long to hear me ramble about my deck. Yeah, I'll see you guys next time. This is True Pyro Shad signing out. Peace.